When I'm reviewing a car like the 2023 Honda Pilot, it's really important for me to get the family in the car. I have a 2 and a 5-year-old, so young kids, and just see how we fit and how comfortable everyone is. And if we do a day trip, just how successful that day trip is really does depend a lot on the car that we take. So I found 7 things that I really appreciate about the Honda Pilot, and I think families will too. The Pilot has this really nifty shelf on the passenger side dashboard. Now, if you've bought previous generation Pilots, it may look familiar because this was used on the 2009 to 2015 Honda Pilots before it disappeared for the redesign. But it's back, and I have found it just so useful. You have your toll transponder, key, sunglasses, and while the driver has a sunglasses holder up top, passenger wears sunglasses too. So when you have someone sitting shotgun, then they can put their sunglass case there too. And perhaps most importantly, for road tripping with kids, a spare water pen, because the ones that they have in the back are going to find the black hole underneath the seat. So always keep a spare up front. You have a lot of charging options in the Pilot. You have USB-A, you have a slightly more powerful USB-C, you have your 12-volt DC, then you have the wireless charging pad. This didn't work that well for me with my phone in the case or outside of the case. Not sure what's going on, but wasn't a consistent charging experience. What's also nice, and I used this when we had the kids' devices charging, that the AC outlet in the back. Now, this doesn't come on all trim levels, but it does on the TrailSport, and I could have tablet charging in the center console storage and had plenty of juice for the return trip, and that was just a nice touch. I was really excited about the beverage holder situation in the Pilot, perhaps disproportionately so, because it's a goofy thing to get excited over, but we test a lot of SUVs, and not many fit these big 32-ounce water bottles. And what's unique about the Pilot is it's not only just in the front here, which is also done well because both beverage holders up front will fit these, because sometimes they have a smaller holder for one and they only give you one, but it fits the big bottle, it fits the small bottle well, and what I really like is over in the door panel, it fits it too. And it has this holder in the middle of the door panel, which makes it really easy to get to while you're driving. And like I said, it's kind of a goofy thing to get excited about, because if you're shopping for a car that you really like and it doesn't fit those bottles, well, you buy another $30 bottle and then you're good, rather than a different $50,000 car. But if you're already stacked like these, it's one of those little things that counts. When I'm reviewing a car and I have to take the kids somewhere, and especially if I have to nap them in the car, I don't like taking test cars that ride poorly. And that is not the case with the Pilot at all. It is actually one of the nicest riding 3-row SUVs out there, and proved no problem with napping the kids. There are bumps on the road that I would look at and get all cringy and tightened up, and it would just absorb it with no problem at all without upsetting the cabin. And I think some of that has to do with this being the TrailSport trim level, which is the off-road oriented trim level. It has smaller wheels, really tall tires, off-road oriented tires, but I didn't observe any detriment to other ride characteristics. The tires aren't noisy, the car doesn't drive sloppily, it's very composed. It almost drives more like a luxury car than what you would expect from a family 3-row SUV, and it was one area I was highly impressed by. 3-row SUVs have to get child car seats, right? And in the Pilot, that's no issue. There are actually improved lower latch anchors here. They are more exposed than before, and in real-world use, I found them super easy to use. And as a bonus, there is a set of those in the 3rd row, but only on the passenger side seat. And then if there is a booster seat installed in this outboard seat, it actually overlaps the buckle in the middle. And this just shows that on paper, yeah, there may be room for 3 people in the back, but this should best be considered for 2 people to sit on the outboard, because that middle seat, I really don't see much of a use for it. Three-row SUVs like the Pilot often suffer from not a lot of cargo space behind the third row unless they're really, really big. And looking at the cargo space, you kind of see how that would be the same in the new Pilot, but underneath the trick cover is this giant cargo tub. And there's just a ton of room down here, and you can use it for taller items. You could use it for underfloor storage that you wanted to hide things. And what's nice is this cover tucks down in and stores right in the bottom. So it's a really nice approach, and in our cargo measurements really helped the room behind the third row be much more competitive with some larger vehicles in the class like the Atlas. There's one feature I didn't get a chance to test, but I'm really excited about, and that is the removable center seat in the second row that this version doesn't have, but it kind of seems to be the best of both worlds, where when the kids are younger, you could put an infant seat in the middle, and then when they're older, you can take that center seat out and then have captain's chairs and room for the third row. The bummer is that it only comes on the Touring and Elite trim levels, so this TrailSport can't get it. After my time in the Pilot, it was very clear where Honda was thoughtful about making improvements for families. What was most telling, however, was as a Volkswagen Atlas owner, I was looking for TrailSport inventory on Cars.com. If you want to see more reviews of three-row SUVs, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications.